Former U.S. ambassador appeared in federal court today after being arrested on Friday at MIA. He's being accused of serving as a secret agent for Cuba.
This is Crazy News Reacts, where I show you crazy news stories from all over this globe we call Earth, present them to you, and now and then we'll even laugh about these things because they're so ridiculous. So, good morning. Let's check it out.
We did interview an ex-CIA officer today who knows the defendant, calls him a good friend, and didn't believe what he heard, that the defendant is charged with being a spy from Cuba.
This guy was a spy for Cuba. And if he was a spy for Cuba, that means he was a spy for other communist parties. China, Russia, North Korea, could go on and on and on.
Judge was not comfortable today in setting a bond for the defendant, noting how he, Manuel Rocha, the defendant, has dual citizenship, has significant assets, and has traveled internationally many times. Therefore, there's a concern it could be a flight risk.
I hope he got paid really well, because now he's going bye-bye for the rest of his life. How does our CIA miss something like this? Or Defense Intelligence Agency? We have so many agencies here in the U.S. How the fuck does this guy go under the freaking radar for so long, right? What do you guys think about this? What should we do with people like this?
Manuel Rocha, a former U.S. diplomat, has been a spy for Cuba for some 40 years. That, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office. He made his first appearance in federal court in Miami today to face charges including acting as an illegal agent of a foreign government.
4 decades. This guy got away with it. With a communist country right off of our southernmost tip in the United States, which is Key West, we need to be a little more practical, and we have to definitely get our agencies under control. Look what happened with nuclear weapons. We developed nuclear weapons, and boom, now freaking everybody who's somebody has them because we couldn't keep our secrets. Damn, man.
Miami resident Felix Rodriguez was a CIA officer and called Rocha a good friend.
No, he was a brilliant guy. I don't think I understand or I've seen anybody so bright like he was.
Here we have a Cuban immigrant, probably came over in the 80s, the Mariel boat lift. Sometimes I'll tell you guys about that if you don't know about it. But it was back in the 80s when Reagan allowed everyone from Cuba who wanted to come to America to let them come, as long as they came by themselves in a boat. It's called the Mariel boat lift. Check it out. Very strange. But this guy was friends with the agent for 40 years of the Castro regime. I have to wonder, how did that guy fall under the radar? Why didn't his friends like this sense something? Is he really that good?
The 22-page criminal complaint says Rocha celebrated his activities. Rocha also lamented the blows that the enemy, meaning the United States, has dealt to the current revolution. And to quote, "For me, what has been done has strengthened the revolution. It has strengthened it immensely. We can't put that in danger."
The movement? Are you freaking kidding me? The movement. There's no freaking movement. There's just bash down our gates and run into our country. Or row your way in. Whatever way you can come. They are definitely on the receiving end of bullshit on this one. God, it makes me so mad. You know, no matter what we invent, look at our stealth technology. China now has it. How the fuck? Can't we keep secrets in this country? God, it gets me so angry, but also it makes me laugh my ass off.
All of those details from a criminal complaint spelling out 3 secret meetings Rocha had with an undercover FBI agent posing as a Cuban intelligence officer. After today's hearing, Rocha's relatives left the courthouse declining comment.
Miami is a very special and diverse place. It's made up of tens of thousands of Cuban immigrants who came here with the dream back in the 80s. And now a lot of them have made it. But something like this can bring a country down, and it can change our entire policy towards that country, except we don't have relations with Cuba, and that's stupid because the Chinese and the Russians nowadays are becoming friends with Cuba, and that's right on our southern border. We don't want that.
Rocha joined the State Department in 1981. He worked in embassies in Mexico, the Dominican Republic, also in Argentina. He was the ambassador to Bolivia in the early 2000s, and he worked at the American Embassy in Havana, Cuba in the mid-1990s.
Really? Well, I wonder how much cocaine he's responsible for trafficking across that border. What criminal gangs down in South America this guy met up with to undermine our country. And it is for these reasons where I believe any spy against the United States, our home country, the place we love, should be locked up in the worst prison in America, which, by the way, is in Colorado. Lock them up, 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 hoo-hoo, lock them up.
Rocha spent the weekend in Miami's federal detention facility. Rodriguez, like many, is eager to hear Rocha's side of the story.
And most important, I like to hear his answer. Because if he did, it's one of the biggest deceptions in my life from somebody that I respected so much.
I don't think our intelligence agencies are out there arresting people who aren't spies. I mean, come on, you want to hear what the guy had to say. How would that conversation go with your friend? Think about that, guys. Hey, Mark, or whatever your name is. Yeah, I see you're in Miami Detention Center, MDC, the federal joint down there in Miami, waiting for trial. But just tell me the truth. Are you and Castro lovers?
Rocha did appear today in court in tan jail scrubs, also handcuffed, his hands in front of him. He has a bond hearing set for Wednesday. It is unusual for a defendant to be held without bond. This is one of those situations, and again, a bond hearing set for midweek. One high-ranking U.S. official says today's action exposes one of the highest-reaching, longest-lasting infiltrations into the U.S. government, and this matter is getting the attention of the U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland.
Merrick Garland is in charge of this. Oh, boy, this guy's the worst. This should be an open and closed case. One thing I know about our federal law enforcement is they don't play the radio. I tell you guys this all the time. If you are in criminal activity watching me right now, you have to understand that the government, that's the FBI, DEA, they think that they are the soldiers of our country who stand up in the face of fear and anger and desperation. To me, they're just people who bring people to jail and ruin their lives. All right, guys, so thanks for hanging out with me today. This is the Spy episode. Do me a favor. Write in the comments below what you think about this. I'm really interested in this spy thing. I mean, I've been watching spies my whole life growing up, being arrested. The last one was Ames, I think, A-M-E-S. Can't remember the first name. But yeah, check him out later. See you tomorrow.